Okay, so I don't even know if I'm going to put this out or not. But we'll see how it goes. I know it's long overdue, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel has been out for quite some time now. And, excuse me. And, I've been waiting for a while to actually give my review on it, or my thoughts and opinions, or review, or whatever, however you guys want to say it. But never got around to doing it, just because I've been, I end up doing one thing, like I say I'm going to do it, and then I end up doing something else, and then and then it never gets done. In other words, I'm a procrastinator. I am a procrastinator, ladies and gentlemen. So with Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, the game's been out for quite some time, and I've been playing it. I've been playing it pretty much since the beginning, since it dropped. Is it better than Duel Links? I mean, I wouldn't be able to. For me, I think I have more fun playing Master Duel compared to Duel Links. It's just because there's a whole variety of decks that I can build. Can the game be better? Yeah, I mean, of course, I don't know if I want any cards banned per se, but if you were to ask me to choose one card to be unbanned from Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, I'm gonna have to say Red Eyes Black Dragoon, which is the fusion monster. I think you need Dark Magician, and you need Red Eyes Black Dragon, I believe, to do that, to fusion summon that monster. So I think I'm going to have to say, if there's any card that I want unbanned, it's going to be Red Eyes Black Dragoon in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. But as for if you were to ask me what cards do you want banned in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, some people will tell you or I should say not some, but most people will tell you DD Dynamite, Ash Blossom, I think there's another card in the Tri Brigade deck. I don't remember what it was, but that card is really annoying. I forgot the name of the card though. But yeah, that's what some people will tell you, right? But for me, I don't know. Like, I have fun playing Master Duel. It's just there's a lot of decks that are pretty annoying. For me, it's gotta be Tri Brigade, Drytron, Sky Striker, and fucking what's that other deck? DD Dynamite. And it sounds kind of ironic coming from me, because I also play a DD Dynamite deck. But let me tell you something, when I go up against somebody who plays a DD Dynamite deck, it's not fun. it's not fun. Like, you get basically KO'd in 2 turns. Like, if you have 2 DD Dynamites and Barricade, was it Barricade or Barrage of Millions, which is a trap card, all you gotta do is you chain those 2 together. You put down Barricade or Barrage of Millions, and then you put down 2 trap cards face down, and then you put down 2 trap cards, which is DD Dynamite, both of them are DD Dynamite, face down. And when your opponent declares a direct attack, all you do is you unveil reveal your trap card, barricade or barrage of millions, which bans the number of, which allows you to choose the number of cards to ban from your opponent's extra deck into the graveyard until the end of the next turn. And the amount of cards, the number of cards you choose to ban from your opponent's extra deck, they take, I think, about 300 life points of damage for each card banned into the graveyard until the end of the next, for that turn. And then you chain that with DD Dynamite. Not one, but at 2 DD Dynamites. And you basically win the duel. Right? So, I think that's annoying. I mean, it's not, it's fun when I do it, but when I come across other people doing it, that's when it's like, okay, this shit is annoying, right? Like, that's when I say to myself, okay, this shit is fucking annoying. So it's, how can I say, it's one of the most annoying decks there is in Yu-Gi-Oh. I think as for Tri Brigade and Sky Striker, like, you'll always see that. I can't tell you, fuck man, like, I can't tell you how many times I come across a Tri Brigade deck, and I don't even, it's so obvious too. Like, as soon as my opponent, because if my opponent is using a Tri Brigade deck, they're going to start off with Fire Formation Tenki. Like, as soon as they start off with Fire Formation Tenki, I know right away it's a Tri Brigade deck. I know right away. 90%, it's a 99.9% chance they're using a Tri Brigade deck. And, like, because I remember the first time my opponent used, when I faced an opponent, I went up against an opponent, and he did Fire Formation Tenki, and which is a spell card, which I think it allows you to bring out any beast type warrior monsters from your deck, or add it from your deck to your hand, or something like that. But when I first found out, the very first time I came across that, I said, oh, we're getting this guy might be using, I said to myself, this guy might be using a Beast Warrior deck, some sort of Beast Warrior deck, or what's that deck called? I forgot the name of that deck. I forgot the name of the deck. It's a Beast Warrior deck. I forgot the name of that deck. I know that there was a girl that I met. She used to use that deck. It was one of her favorite decks to use. I forgot the name of that deck. Oh, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist. So anyways, so yeah, so the first time I came across an opponent who used Fire Formation Tenki, I was like, oh, we might get Brotherhood of the Fire Fist deck. Turns out it was Tri Brigade. And every time ever since then, every time I come across an opponent, every time they start off playing that card, Fire Formation Tenki, it's always ends up being a Tri Brigade deck. And you can't really, there are cards in the Tri Brigade that they do where you can't even do anything. Like, it locks you out from activating your card effects. Another good one would be Baron de la Fleur. If you guys don't know that card is annoying. That card is really annoying. And you know what? I sit here and I say, you know, Baron de la Fleur is an annoying card. Yet I have Baron de la Fleur in a Blue Eyes deck. But the thing is, like, I haven't really summoned that card as much. Cause like for me, like, I have pretty much every deck. The only decks I don't have and I'll never use, excuse me, is a Tri Brigade deck or a Sky Striker deck. Like, I'll never use that because those cards are full of link summons. And me, I don't care for link summoning. I mean, it's not that I don't know how to link summon, but it's just when I play Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm more into the classic decks, you know, the blue eyes, the red eyes, the dark magician deck, the, you know, the silent magician deck, the Karibo deck, even the Karibo deck, right? So I mean, well, I don't have a Karibo deck. I mean, I would build a Karibo deck, but the thing is with Konami and Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is they only have a capacity limit where you can build up to 20 decks. And I'm like, you know what? Like, if Konami can increase the limits of decks that you can build, for sure, I'll build a Karibo deck. For sure, I'll build a Elemental Hero deck or a, you know, or a Silent Magician deck. Actually, I wanted to build an Elemental Hero deck. I had plans to build an Elemental Hero deck, and I had plans to build a Red Eyes Black Dragon deck. But what happened was they dropped Baron de la Fleur, and I'm like, you know what, this card can really be good with my Blue Eyes deck. So what I did was I took my Blue Eyes deck and I modified it. I took some cards out and, you know, gave it a little remodification where I built it not only around Blue Eyes White Dragon, but I built it around Baron de la Fleur as well, as well as Crystron Halibufax or something like that. That link monster. That link monster. For those of you who play Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. But that card is annoying too. With the Christian Halib, I can't even say that. But that card, y'all know what I'm talking about. But that card is annoying. 2 link monsters. All you need is 2 link monsters. Summon that to summon that monster, and then you can activate its effect where you can bring out a synchro type monster like Formula Synchron. During the damage step, you activate its effect and you can use it to synchro summon Baron de la Fleur, which, you know, if you guys haven't read the effects for what that card does, it's fucking annoying. I'm not gonna lie. And then, you know, access code talker, you have that card too, which is hella annoying. And then you have a bunch of, obviously you have the hand traps, like, you know, infinite impairments, you know, Ash Blossom. Oh my gosh, the Ash Blossom, or the amount of people that use Ash Blossom, it's insane how many players I come across use Ash Blossom. Like, I've seen more people use Ash Blossom. I've seen other people use other hand traps too. Like the latest one I saw just the other day was I saw somebody use Skilled Meister, which basically it's a hand trap where if you activate it from your hand, you can discard that card, send it to the graveyard, and it will negate your opponent from using a graveyard effect. So if you have a card like White Stone of Legend, which has a graveyard effect, and guess what? You're not going to be summoning Blue Eyes White Dragon onto the field. All right? If you take out your White Stone of Legend, or White Stone of Ancients, or even White Stone of Legend, and, you know, you were to use the graveyard effect to bring out a Blue Eyes monster, and your opponent activates Skill Meister, guess what? You're not using that effect. You can say goodbye to that effect. You're not using that effect. So, you know, I had somebody use Skill Meister on me, which was pretty which I did not expect. But I think the most popular hand traps and the most annoying one is Ash Blossom. You use Ash Blossom if I'm in a bad mood and I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and if I'm in a bad mood and if somebody were to use Ash Blossom on me during my turn as a hand trap to counter my monster's effects, or to negate my monster's effects, I'm going to fucking rage quit. Right? But that's only if I'm in a bad mood and shit. Right? I came across players where, you know, they had not 1 but 2 Ash Blossoms. I'm like, you know what, I'm done. Like, immediately, frame 1, I ended up rage quitting, because I believe I was kind of pissed off that day. Like, I was having a rough day, So I was having a bad day, so you know, I thought to myself, you know what, let's just play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel to, you know, take my mind off of things. And then I bump into an opponent that has not one but 2 Ash Blossoms in their hand. I got so pissed off. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this duel. I'm going to fucking rage quit. Immediately, rage quit, frame 1. So that was that. But yeah, like, as far as Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is concerned, like, it's a really, I have a lot of fun playing it. Like, it allowed me to create my favorite decks, you know, like, you know, Dark Magician, Blue Eyes. I have actually 3 Blue Eyes decks. One that's built around Blue Eyes White Dragon and Baron de la Fleur. One that's built around Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. But for some reason, I always brick whenever I use that deck. What I'm gonna do is maybe I might modify that deck, see how it goes. And then I also have another deck built around Chaos Max Dragon. I used to have a Blue Eyes deck that was built around Chaos Max Dragon and Blue Eyes White Dragon, but then Baron de la Fleur came out, and then I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna build a Blue Eyes deck around Baron de la Fleur, and then I'm gonna build 2 separate decks that's built around Chaos Max Dragon and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And that's why I didn't build the Elemental Hero and the Red Eyes Black Dragon deck, because if you were to ask me, I would much rather build a deck that revolves around Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon or Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon rather than Elemental Hero or, you know, Red Eyes, right? Not to say that I don't like that deck. You know, I mean, for me, I am a fan of that deck because because growing up I used to watch, my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh series was the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, GX and 5Ds. So obviously, me playing Master Duel, you're gonna see me build a Cyber Dragon deck, which I have, and I haven't even used it yet. I have the deck built. I built the deck, but I haven't even used it yet. So obviously, yeah, because I'm a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh GX, you're gonna see me have a Cyber Dragon. I have a Cyber Dragon deck. I have a Sacred Beast deck. You know, I'm a big fan of the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, so obviously I'm gonna have a Blue Eyes deck. I'm gonna have a Dark Magician deck, and then I'm gonna have, you know, an Egyptian God deck. But I don't have a deck where it's not like complete. It's like, it's a separate Egyptian God deck. So I have an Egyptian God deck that's built around Slifer, and then I have an Egyptian God deck that's built around Winged Dragon of Ra. I don't have an Egyptian God deck that's built around Obelisk, because to be honest, as much as I love the Egyptian God cards, Winged Dragon of Ra and Slifer are my 2 favorite ones. And then obviously I have the Galaxy Eyes deck because Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, one of my favorite decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal was the Galaxy Eyes deck. So obviously I was like, you know what, I have to build the Galaxy Eyes deck. I have to build a Buster Blader deck, which is pretty iconic in the Yu-Gi-Oh! series. And then just most recently, I built a Cubic deck and a Utopia deck. The Utopia deck, which is Yuma's deck from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. I'm not a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, but there are certain decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal that I'm a big fan of, which is obviously the Utopia deck and the Galaxy Eyes deck being my top 2 favorite. And then obviously, you know, like I said, I had to build a Cubic deck. I had no intention of building a Cubic deck, and then I was watching Dion's video. For those of you who don't know Dion, he goes, better yet, you may know him as Syriax. He made a video on his channel showcasing the Cubic deck, and I said, this Cubic deck looks kind of fun. I'm gonna see what I can do and you know, build my own Cubic deck. I was gonna, you know, I was kind of lazy to build a Cubic deck. And then I realized Dion or Syriax, he mentioned before that he doesn't give out his deck lists, which may sound kind of cruel, but I know he mentioned it in his video that, you know, the beauty of Yu-Gi-Oh is to create your own decks and have fun with it. You know, and that's what we used to do back in the day, right? Like growing up, I used to go, you know, grab Yu-Gi-Oh cards, go to the card shop, grab packs, whatever cards I got in the packs. Those are the cards that I have to use to build a deck with, right? So I mean, I get where Dion is coming from. I get where, you know, I understand his point of view, but you know, so I said, you know what, like the cubic deck looks fun. I know Dion is not going to give away his deck list for the cubic deck, so I said, you know what, let me just go in the game, hop in the game, search up cubic, and see what cards are available so that I can build my very own cubic deck, and that's what I did. So just most recently, I built a cubic deck. Well, Utopia deck, and then before that was the cubic deck, and then obviously I have your classic decks. The deck that I'm using the most right now is the Resonator deck. So that deck is built around Red Dragon Archfeed, Red Nova, and Red Nova Dragon. For those of you who don't know that monsters, that's the monsters used by the famous Jack Atlas from Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds. And like I said before, Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds was one of my favorite series. The synchro summoning was one of my favorite types of summoning in the Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds series. So when Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel came out, I said, you know that I'm going to build excuse me, I'm going to build a Resonator deck around Jack Atlas, and I'm going to build a Junk/Stardust deck that's built around Yusei Fudo. Okay, and I do have one actually. I do have a Synchron deck /Stardust deck that's built around Yusei Fudo. I'm thinking of making a Crystal Synchro Dragon deck. I'm not too sure if I want to do that. But if I were to do that, I'm gonna have to delete a deck because I'm already at max capacity. Because you can only build 20 decks in the game. So, and the thing is, I don't want to delete any of my decks because I have so much fun using these decks. Like I have a Toon deck, which revolves around Pegasus from the original Yu-Gi-Oh series. I have a Numeron deck, which I haven't even used yet. So all these decks that I build, these are decks that I'm a big fan of, and I don't want to get rid of any of them. That's why I'm saying, like, if Konami were to drop an update where they can increase the max limit of building decks, for sure I'll build a Crystal Synchro deck, right? But if I want to build a Crystal Synchro deck now, like let's say I decide right now, oh, I'm going to build a Crystal Synchro deck, I'm going to have to take my Junk Synchron deck that I already build, and I'm going to have to modify it and build it around Crystal Synchro Dragon, which I don't want to do because the Junk Synchron deck that I have is currently built around Shooting Star Dragon, Junk Synchron, Road Warrior, Shooting Star Dragon, Shooting Quasar Dragon, right? That's what it's built around. So I don't want to switch up anything for that. But yeah, so those are the decks that I have. And I've been really having fun playing with the Resonator deck. I don't really care about ranked. I don't really care about ranked. I just want to just hop into the game and play Yu-Gi-Oh without bricking. Like, I can't tell you how many times I hop into a game and I brick all the time. I get a very bad hand and I brick and I brick and I brick, and it's just like, come on, can I just get a good hand already? But yeah, like for me, I don't really care about ranked. The only reason I play ranked is just because I want to play my decks, right? Like, I have all these decks built, and I was just like, you know what? I don't really care what rank I'm in. I just want to hop into ranked, play a good Yu-Gi-Oh duel, like have a good duel with an opponent, and just have fun playing the decks that I built, And lately, it's been the Resonator deck. I'm having a lot of fun playing the Resonator deck. I can't tell you how many people surrendered because of my Resonator deck that I built. You summon Hot Red Dragon Archfeed, or you summon Red Red Hot Dragon Archfeed Abyss, chances are your opponent's going to end up, surrendering. Because what Red Hot Dragon Archfeed Abyss does is he negates, for once per turn, he can negate an opponent's spell card or trap card or monster effect, whatever. And there's been times where I remember I had this one duel like just last week where I summoned Hot Red Dragon Archfeed Abyss, and every time my opponent tried to counter or use a spell card or use a monster effect, I just kept negating them. And I'm like, no, you're not playing. Like, you're not playing. And then, what happens is people just end up surrendering, right? I mean, if I was in that position, I would do the same thing too. Like, there's been times where I would go up against a Junk Synchron deck or against a Crystal Synchro Dragon, and I can't even do anything, right? Every time I activate an effect, Crystal Synchro Dragon negates it. So it's like, okay, well, I have nothing left. I have no plays left. I have a shitty hand. I have no plays left. Might as well just leave. Find another opponent. Go into the next match. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel was a lot of fun. I just wish that they would do something about the bots. Because I know a lot of people complain about the bots. So I wanna, if Konami can do something about the bots, that'll be greatly appreciated. Like, I can't tell you how many times where I go into a duel, and usually as soon as the duel starts, my opponent surrenders. And usually if that happens, chances are they're a bot. There are some in some cases when you see that happen, that's not a bot. There's a chance that it may not be a bot. Maybe it's an actual opponent. They just got a bad starting hand, so they just decided, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna leave and find another match until I get a better starting hand. But in most cases, when you see, an opponent surrender right after the duel starts, chances are it's a bot. So, anyways, I'm not sure if I'm going to. I'm obviously going to be playing more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do recordings on it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, because most of the time when I do recordings, it's mostly for fighters, right? I don't know if I'm going to do recordings on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. We'll see how it goes. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, at the end of the day, it's pretty fun. There's some changes that could be made, but hey, it'd be like that when it be like that. There are some things that people are not proud of. Like, the game's not perfect. Nothing comes out perfect, but can it be improved? Yes. Right? Can it be done better? Yes. Right? And if I know a lot of people who played Master Duel, they said, a lot of things, there are things that can change within the game, right? I agree, right? Starting with the bots. That's the number one priority, is the bots. So, and the amount of people or the amount of opponents, in quotation marks, that surrender out of the blue as soon as the duel starts. I think Konami can, make changes on that as well. But anyways, that's kind of like what I want to come out and say. That's just basically for my opinion, on the game. I think it's a really good game. I think I'm really enjoying it. I love it. Kind of addicting, not gonna lie. But yeah, I don't know what else Konami has in store for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, but whatever it is, I'm kind of curious to see what they're gonna drop next. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Make sure you guys follow me on social media. Links will be in the description below. My social media links will be in the description below. If you guys have any of those platforms, make sure you guys go follow me on social media. And again, I don't know if I'm going to be putting this on my YouTube channel or not, but if I do, if you guys see the video there, that means I decided to put it up there. And obviously, you know, and I apologize for the black screen because if you guys don't know me by now, I don't usually show my face on the internet, so that's why I chose to have this black screen and sit and just talk. But yeah, anyways, have a good day wherever you guys are, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.